Hey, awesome people. Welcome. Mr. C here, and we are back again with another video on fractions. We've been doing this for a couple weeks now, and as you know, there's so much to cover with fractions. That's why we're still on it. We're going to keep plowing through it because fractions are super important. Couple things for you. One, if you learn anything in any of these videos, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to Math with Mr. C as we continue our journey of making math understandable and challenging. Today is something that is super important. All right, we are talking about equivalent fractions. And today, specifically, we are going to be generating. And what that means is we're going to be making. Okay, we're going to be making equivalent fractions. This is crazy important to know how to do. This skill is something you are going to use for years to come. So make sure you are paying attention today. Also, if you haven't watched these videos already, last week we did talk about what an equivalent fraction is, how to actually make one, kind of understanding that. We've also talked about what is a numerator, what is a denominator. So if you don't know any of those things, if you're a little confused on any of those, look at the description down below, click on one of those videos. You can catch up on what we've covered so far. Also, we have talked about the second grade learning standards, which was getting us used to fractions, learning what halves are and thirds are and fourths are. So make sure you check those out in the description below. Like I said, today we are focusing on making equivalent fractions. Okay, with that being said, let's get started with some examples. All right, what you see on the screen here, two things. You should see a fraction over here on the left side, and right in the middle of the screen, you should see what we call a fraction bar. And if you don't know what that is, make sure you look at the description below, watch some of our previous videos. Fraction bars are something that are super helpful in understanding fractions and learning about them. Before we get started, make sure, like I always say in every video, make sure you have the right mindset for this challenge. Having the right mindset means you have a growth mindset, means that you are okay with the struggle. Be okay with challenging yourself. Be okay with not getting it right away. Work hard, ask questions, try them again. That is what a growth mindset is all about. You just don't know something yet. Yet being the key word. All right, here we go. What I want you to do is on your, whatever you've got, pencil, paper, whiteboard, a Kleenex, whatever you've got, I want you to draw a fraction bar, and I want you to show 1/2 on a fraction bar. Okay, so let me show you how that's done. We've got a fraction bar of 1/2. Our denominator tells us how many equal sections to make it into, so that's what I'm going to do. On my, I kind of have a cheat little here because I can find the middle point. There we go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make 2 equal sections here. I'm going to color it in. Boop. There we go. So I've got 2 equal sections. Okay, I've got 2 equal sections. Here's 1 section, here's 2 sections. Let me kind of color that in. Let's go with the bluish color here. All right, so we've got 2 equal sections. I'm going to represent 1/2 like that. Okay, our colored in section here is 1/2. Now, if we were to make an equivalent fraction to 1/2, let me show you something that you can do with fraction bars. Okay, let me show you what you can do with fraction bars. Let me make another one here. So we've got the fraction 1/2. We are going to make another fraction. We're going to see if we can make an equivalent fraction out of it. Let's say this time I give you the fraction, let's say 2/4. Okay. want you to take this fraction bar and I want you to break it into 4 equal sections. Okay, 4 equal sections. So here we go. I'm going to break mine into 4 equal sections. Here is 2 sections. That should give me 3 sections and 4 sections. Let me look. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I got 4 sections. Now, how many of those sections should we color in? What's our numerator telling us? Our numerator is telling us that we have 2 sections we should color in, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to color in 2 sections. Kind of like this coloring in tool. It's a new one I haven't used yet. There we go. Can't quite color in the lines, forgive me. Need to practice that some more. So take a look at these 2 different fraction bars. Up here at the top, we've got the fraction 1/4, and down here below it, we've got the fraction bar 2/4. What do y'all notice about these 2 fractions? What do you notice? Hopefully you're noticing that they have the same amount on this fraction bar colored in. Look, from here to here on 1/2 is colored in, and on 2/4 from here to here is colored in. Do you see how these are smaller pieces? 2/4 has smaller pieces than 1/2, but 2/4 is equal to 1/2, and this fraction bar proves it. Okay, this fraction bar shows us that 1/2 is equal to 2/4 because we have the same amount. Think of this as like a candy bar. All right, if me and my friend were sharing the candy bar and we broke it into 2 pieces, we would each get one of these big pieces here. Let's say me and my friend again are splitting a candy bar, but this time we break it into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. We each got smaller pieces, but do you still see that we got the same amount as 1/2? We still got this much of the chocolate bar. All we did was break it into smaller pieces. Let me show you another one like this. Let me show you another one here. Let me copy it, change it to black. Let me give you another one. Let's go with, let's say pink this time. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, pink. This time, let's give you, I don't know, let's go with 3, 6. Let's try this out. So I need, my denominator tells me how many equal sections. I need 6 equal sections. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dang, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good. All right, let's see if I have 6 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's our numerator telling us? Our numerator tells us we need to color in 3. So let me color in 3. Here's 1, 2. Trying to do a better job coloring on this one. Here is 3. All right, so I colored in 3 of the 6. Let's take a look. All right, what are y'all noticing about these fractions? What do you notice about all 3 of these fractions? 1/2, 2/4, and 3/6. Notice on 3/6, same thing. We have a candy bar. Me and my friend, we're splitting it. We break it into 6 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get 3 pieces. He gets 3 pieces. Notice the pieces are getting smaller, but all 3 of these fractions are what? They're equivalent. You may be saying the same. You're exactly right. Get used to saying the word equivalent in math. Equivalent means equals. That means the same. All 3 of these fractions, this fraction bar shows us that they are equivalent fractions. You can do this with any fraction out there. All right, I don't care what fraction it is, you can draw fraction bars and you can compare them. The biggest thing, make sure you draw the same size fraction bars. All right, that's how you can do equivalent fractions using fraction bars. Now I'm going to show you another strategy that you can use, because the cool thing about math is there is more than one strategy a lot of times to solve a problem. So let me show you another example. All right, so I've got another strategy here for you. This strategy, it's going to be drawing a picture. I'm going to be using a visual model, and I just want to point out that right now we're doing a lot of drawing, a lot of pictures, and eventually you're not going to have to do that to solve for equivalent fractions. You're going to get so good at this that you can use other methods and other strategies. But I want to make sure you understand that don't ever be afraid or worried about drawing pictures or like using your fingers to help you solve problems. Use your fingers, draw pictures to help you solve things, because that helps our brain think in different ways. And math is all about thinking different ways. So just because we're doing this here, I don't want you ever to feel like, oh, I don't know if I can draw pictures. All right, be okay with drawing pictures. I love it. It's a great strategy. With that being said, I've got the fraction 2/3 here on the left, and I've got, looks like a rectangle here in the middle of the screen. What we're going to do is going to draw or represent this fraction on this figure. So let me divide this into thirds. See how I do here. It's not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. So I broke it up into thirds. And how many sections do we have? What's our numerator tell us? I mean, it tells us we have 2 sections. So here is 1 section. There's 1, and here is 2 sections. There we go. All right, so we've got 2/3. Would you agree with that? That on this rectangle we have shown 2/3. Okay. Now I'm gonna copy what we've just done here. I'm gonna copy it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take what we have done. Looks like they're going to make me redraw it, so give me a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take what we have done, and I am going to kind of show you another strategy that I think is a really good way to kind of approach this type of problem. So thanks for being patient with me. There we go. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our figure and I'm going to break it in half horizontally. Okay, horizontally means this way. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to break this in half horizontally here. Okay, what did I just do? What did I just do except erase everything? Is not what I wanted to do. What have I done here on the screen? How many pieces are in this figure? How many pieces do you see? Let's look. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there are 6 total pieces. That's our denominator. Okay, remember, however many total pieces there are, that's our denominator. Now, how many of those pieces are purple? How many of those pieces are purple? Well, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 out of 6 being purple. Hold up, Mr. C, what just happened? Well, ladies and gentlemen, take a look up here. We took our rectangle and broke it into 3 equal sections. 1, 2, 3. 2 of those 3 were colored in purple. Then what we did down here is we broke it into 6 equal sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice, the sections have gotten smaller, the pieces have gotten smaller, but it still gives us the same amount. All right? This amount that's colored in purple is the exact same amount that's up here in purple. These are equivalent fractions. Okay? This strategy here is another great way of going about solving these problems. Okay, I do have one other strategy I want to show you, and that strategy is going to be looking at a number line. Let me show you. So last strategy I have for you here is using a number line, and this is something we've spent quite a bit of time using to be able to use fractions, understand what they look like, all that kind of stuff. Same thing we can do here to create, show, generate equivalent fractions. So I've got the fraction 3/4, and here is my number line. We have 0 at this end of it, and then obviously we've got 1 here. This could be any number. It could be 75 if we wanted to, but we've been talking about fractions, so a lot of times where we're at, we just talk about from 0 to 1, okay? Because any proper fraction is between 0 and 1. We've got the fraction 3/4. Let's show this on this number line. Here's my halfway point. So let me break this up a little bit more. There we go. We've got 4 sections, and how many of them do we have in our numerator? We've got 3. Okay, so we've got 3. So we've got to all the way over here. Here is 3/4. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a way that you can figure out if two fractions are equivalent or not using a number line. Now, let's say you have another fraction, and this fraction is, I don't know, let's go with 6/8. And we want to know, are these two fractions are equivalent? Okay, are these two fractions equivalent? There's 2 ways you can go about doing this. The first way is you can draw another number line and do the same exact thing. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to draw another number line, and I'm going to do the same exact thing and kind of compare the two and see if they are equivalent fractions. So denominator says I have 8 equal sections, so here we go. Let's see what I can do. That was bad. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, it's not bad, not bad, not bad. So our numerator is 6, so that's where we need to go. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. This gives us 6/8. Notice where they are on the number line. Okay, this is a strategy. You can draw 2 different number lines. The strategy I really like, though, okay, the strategy that I really like is using the same number line that you did up here to start with. I want you to take this fraction here. I want you to take this fraction here and draw it on this number line. Okay, what I mean by that is, do you see how we've broken this into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sections? Now I want you to break it into 8 equal sections. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, notice we've got 8 sections now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to count over 6. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you notice? 6/8 and 3/4 are equivalent fractions. And again, this is another strategy. Out of all 3 of the strategies I've shown you, this one to me is probably the most challenging one, just because I'm not a great artist and I make mistakes all the time, and this one to me is really a big challenge to use. The 2 that I really like, I'm a huge fan of this strategy here, drawing kind of a rectangle. People call it like an area model a lot of times, drawing a rectangle and drawing it. This is a great strategy. This one here, though, is one of my favorite strategies, using fraction bars. They're so helpful. They help you to be able to see how equal pieces are. There may be different size chunks. They may be different sizes. 1/2 was this giant piece, 2/4 was 2 smaller pieces, and 3/6 was 3 smaller pieces. But each of these fractions were equivalent, and I think this is a really good strategy. I like to show you more than one though, so try them all, figure out which one works best for you. I know some of y'all are artists and you love to draw and you're really good at this type of stuff, so I say go for it. Find one, get really good at it, try some other ones, and go from there. We will be practicing more equivalent fractions because they are super, super important. Thanks for tuning into this video. If you learned anything new, make sure you click the like button, click the subscribe as we continue to make math understandable and challenging. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's all I have for you today. Mr. C out.